The story behind Ghoomar and Chaudhary. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself standing in the vast Thar desert of western India. The golden sand stretches endlessly beneath a brilliant blue sky. In the distance, magnificent forests rise from the rocky hills, while women dressed in vibrant red, yellow, and emerald green skirts move gracefully across the desert wind. As the sound of drums begins to echo through the villages, the women slowly form a circle and their skirts start to swirl like blooming flowers. This is Ghoomar, one of India's oldest and most elegant dance traditions. But the story of Ghoomar began long before palaces, kings, or Bollywood. It began with a tribe. And to bring everything we've explored to life, I will be performing a short choreography inspired by this traditional dance at the end of the video. I hope you will stay with me until then. Before the kings, centuries ago, Rajasthan was home to the Bail people, one of the oldest indigenous communities in India. Long before the Rajput kingdoms dominated the region, the Bails lived among the forests and hills, surviving through hunting, farming, and an intimate connection with nature. Like many ancient cultures, they celebrated life's important moments through music and dance. Their dances were not performed on stages. They were part of everyday life. They danced to celebrate weddings, harvests, festivals, victories, and the changing seasons. Among these dances was an early form of what would eventually become Ghoomar. Around the medieval period, the Rajputs gradually established their kingdoms across Rajasthan. And historical tradition tells us that after alliances were formed between the Rajputs and the Bails, many cultural customs were exchanged. One of those traditions was dance. Rajput women adopted the graceful circular dance of the Bail women and slowly transformed it into something uniquely their own. Over generations, the dance became more refined. The movements became softer. The costumes became more elaborate. The music became richer. Eventually, Ghoomar evolved into a symbol of royal femininity throughout Rajasthan. Why is it called Ghoomar? The answer is beautifully simple. The name comes from the Hindi and Rajasthani word Ghoomna, meaning to spin or to turn around. Everything about the dance revolves around this single movement. The dancers don't jump. They don't perform acrobatic tricks. Instead, they spin slowly, gracefully, almost effortlessly. The spinning itself becomes the language of the dance. And why do the women dance in circles? If you've ever watched Ghoomar, you've probably noticed something unusual. There is no lead dancer, there is no competition, there is no attempt to outshine anyone else. Everyone moves together, and the circle represents harmony. It symbolizes equality, unity, and the idea that every woman is part of the same community rather than celebrating one individual. Ghoomar celebrates togetherness. That is one of the reasons it has survived for centuries. And the story hidden inside the skirts. Perhaps the most iconic feature of Ghoomar is the enormous flowing skirt known as the ghagra. As the dancers spin, The skirts open like giant blossoms. This is not merely beautiful, it is symbolic. For generations, the blooming circle of fabric has represented joy, prosperity, femininity, and new beginnings. Traditionally, newly married brides performed Ghoomar when they entered their husband's family. The dance welcomed them into a new chapter of life. Every turn symbolized hope. Every movement celebrated a future filled with happiness and abundance. Historically, Ghoomar was performed almost exclusively by women. In traditional Rajput society, royal women lived within private quarters known as the zanana. Many celebrations took place away from the public eye. Ghoomar became one of the few spaces where women could laugh, sing, dance, and express themselves freely together. It was more than entertainment, it was sisterhood. And about the music of Rajasthan, no dance exists without music. Traditional Ghoomar is accompanied by folk instruments such as dol, nagara, sarangi, and shehnai. The rhythm begins gently, almost like a heartbeat. Then, little by little, it grows stronger as the tempo rises, so do the dancers' movements. The spinning becomes faster, the skirts become living circles of color. The entire performance feels almost hypnotic. Then came Chaudhary. Now we arrive in the modern era. Many people assume that Chaudhary is an ancient folk song. It isn't. The version known around the world today was composed in 2012 by Amit Trivedi for Coke Studio. The song was performed by the legendary Rajasthani folk singer Mame Khan together with Shreya Ghoshal. Although the composition is modern, its soul is ancient. The melody, rhythm, language, and emotional atmosphere all come directly from Rajasthan's folk traditions. And that is why listeners immediately feel that it belongs to the desert. What does Chaudhary mean? The word Chaudhary originally referred to a village chief, a respected elder, or the head of a community. Over time, however, the word also became a respectful way of addressing someone deeply admired. In the song, it is used with affection and devotion. It is less about power and more about love, admiration, and respect. And why do people dance Ghoomar to Chaudhary? Because the song captures the spirit of Rajasthan perfectly. Although it was written in the 21st century, everything about it feels timeless. The rhythm invites circular movement. The melody echoes traditional village songs. The lyrics carry the warmth of Rajasthan's culture. Without anyone officially declaring it, dancers naturally began performing Ghoomar to Chaudhary. Today, for many people around the world, the song and the dance have become inseparable. It was Bollywood introduced Ghoomar to an international audience. Films such as Padmavat showcased the dance with breathtaking costumes, magnificent palace settings, and spectacular choreography. Millions of viewers discovered Ghoomar for the first time through cinema. Yet, despite the cinematic glamour, the heart of the dance remained unchanged. It was still about community, still about womanhood, still about grace. So, it's more than just a dance. When people see Ghoomar for the first time, they often notice the colors, the music, the spinning, the beauty. But for the people of Rajasthan, Ghoomar is much more than choreography. It is memory, it is family, that is tradition. It is the story of mothers teaching daughters and daughters teaching the next generation. It is a heritage that has survived kingdoms, changing societies, and the passage of centuries. And perhaps that is why Ghoomar continues to captivate audiences around the world, because beneath every graceful turn lies the story of a people, a culture, and generations of women who kept this beautiful tradition alive. Historians do not believe that Ghoomar was originally created specifically as a dance dedicated to Saraswati. It is often performed during festivals dedicated to Hindu goddesses. However, that doesn't mean Ghoomar has no religious or spiritual connections. The historical evidence shows that most scholars agree on these points. Ghoomar originated among the Bail tribe of Rajasthan, and it was later adopted by Rajput women and became part of royal and domestic celebrations. It was traditionally performed during weddings, festivals, and the arrival of a new bride, family celebrations, and certain religious festivals. These points are well supported by historical and cultural sources.